Hello, my name is Allison Waldron. You may also know me as InspiredW, and welcome to today's video. This is actually my first video I'm doing that isn't for class, and I'm very excited. And speaking of class, I actually just got done with all of my classes. I am officially done with college. I'm gonna be graduating in a couple weeks, and I am so excited. I don't have homework anymore. I won't have college anymore, and it's great. And I'm so excited. It's gonna be awesome. And because of that, I'm gonna have more time for videos, which is also something I am also very excited about. And speaking of videos, today I'm going to be doing a speed paint of Fanart for the Animal Crossing new DLC. And I am very excited because I absolutely love these characters. Especially like the new ones like Nico and Wardell. It looks pretty great. So let's get started. Alright, so starting with this piece, after I sketched it all out and got like the color palettes I wanted for these characters, so you can kind of see on like, you know, the outskirts, a little sketch here. I start going to the flat colors. So when I do Animal Crossing Fanarts, I actually use a lineless style. I don't go into, you know, like line art or anything. I just got the sketch and I start going to the colors. And the reason why I chose a lineless art style when I do Animal Crossing fan art is actually because I feel like it matches the Animal Crossing style in the game pretty well. And then it also kind of amplifies it once I get into the shading later on. And then once I got all the colors set to go, I started working on the background color, the background colors. For the background, I did kind of more like a stylized approach to it. Instead of doing a full background, I just did a circle that had the, you know, a stone pavement, some sand to kind of indicate like a setting for it. And then in the background, it is a square that kind of got its inspiration from when I would see other people's art. Having like a square background, if it's just simple, but I go a little bit more further into that by adding like waves in the little house, and then to kind of like give more hint as this is going to be the new DLC, in which you're like on an island surrounded by the ocean, and you're gonna have a lot of fun with it. And then I start going into the shading for a little bit, but when I start doing the shading, I actually use a soft airbrush as like a way to do that soft shading that the Animal Crossing style in the game has. So yeah, I ended up using a very dark purple, and I set that layer to overlay. A lot of other artists like using multiply for their shading, but I actually kind of prefer using overlay. I think it kind of gives a more variety in colors, rather than if you're doing multiply, you may just end up being stuck with like colors that kind of more represent the, you know, the color you're using with the multiply layer. But I don't really have, I just like using overlay. It's fun. It gives me fun colors. It's great. And then as I kind of go into like the shading for a little bit more, before I like really start finishing up with the shading, I start going into doing the shirt details, which is pretty fun to do. Like with the shirt details, I end up just using a simple brush that I use for shading for my other like art pieces, and I just use that to put in the details, such as like the buttons and the little zigzag patterns, the little like orange flowers on the side. That was pretty fun to do. And then then once I get through doing the, you know, the shirt details, I start really working on finishing up the shading. Because, you know, a soft airbrush can only do so much. So I end up using the same, you know, the same brush I use for the shirt details to add in some more better shading for the characters. And also as well as the background, like adding in like little highlight flecks in the sand to indicate that it's sand. And then also do certain shading, especially with Nico, to kind of indicate that, you know, he has fur. Oh, and then I also kind of want to talk about my struggle with figuring out the color, you know, figuring the hairstyle for like my character. Because like for my character, I mean, like the last time I played Animal Crossing was before I got my hair cut. And, you know, my haircut back then was just like, it was like, you know, wavy, pretty wavy, you know, long and wavy. So I ended up using the hairstyle that represented that. But I don't have the hairstyle anymore. So when I was trying to figure out a hairstyle that would better represent this guy right here, I actually ended up choosing one of the new hairstyles that was introduced in the Animal Crossing Direct that, you know, that showcased the new DLC. So I ended up using one of those hairstyles, and I just added did a little creative liberty and add in the purple. Can't really do that in like Animal Crossing, but actually be really cool for Animal Crossing if we could have our hair colors be like different shades instead of just like one shade. You know how cool that'd be? Kind of like a gradient hair. And then that is pretty much my process into drawing the speed paint. This was really fun to do, and I would love to do more Animal Crossing fan art in the future as well. So if you guys have any suggestions for that, put them in the comments. And then yeah, that is going to be all for the speed paint. So let's check it out and see how it turned out. I think it turned out great, and I'm really happy with it. So yeah, and then that is also going to be all from me today. If you're interested in buying this art piece as a print, I'll be uploading it to my Redbubble. And my next video is going to be a speed paint, but after that, I'm going to start kind of like changing it up, going from like a speed paint video, tutorial, speed paint, and so on. So yeah, that's gonna be all for me. If you have any suggestions for, you know, like fan art, speed paints, tutorials, or any questions on anything, just leave them in the comments below. And that is all gonna be from me. And I will see you in the next video, and I hope you have an amazing day.